Hey ladies and gents, welcome back to the live coverage of the 4PL Play for Fame number 3 tournament. We are going to be live here for Fnatic facing off against Iplay. I'm Metis and I'm joined by Mr. Pulse. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, thank you. Honestly, you should have just left it at how you doing, ladies. How are we doing the best intro ever. So we do have Ashe, Nocturne, and Karthus and Urgot. Urgot always banned in every single game, as we've said. Karthus, Global Ultimate, Twisted Fate, Global Ultimate, Nocturne, Global Ultimate, Shen, Global Ultimate. What more is there to say? And Ashe, Global Ultimate. All of the Global Ultimates, and then immediately Malphite because he was not banned out. That's very, very standard bans, and then very standard first pick.
Interesting enough though, 2 games in a row Ashe has been banned.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ashe banned for a long time before today. And then twice in one day, wow.
There's a memo that we're not getting here.
Indeed. So, just having a quick look down Fnatic's lineup. Faliox doesn't seem to be playing today, so I'm assuming that Lumi will be coming in to support for Fnatic. So, there we go. Malphite has been picked up first from Iplay. Lumi is thinking of a couple of different ideas, whether to go with Ezreal or not, and Peke still hasn't elected. So, as you said before, really standard bans, apart from the Ashe, in my opinion. I'm sure people have their reasons for banning her. She's a very, very strong champion, as I said before. The initiation is incredible. But Peke will be taking Ahri, and I've seen Peke take Ahri a couple times, and he has rolled face every single time.
Definitely. The only thing I can think is Iplay wants to get rid of Ashe, so it breaks the Ashe-Nocturne combination, and wants to first pick Nocturne or something. But then Fnatic banned Nocturne as a first ban anyway, so it didn't really matter. Okay, so Ahri and then Ezreal, both very, very tier 1 picks at the moment, extremely strong. Then Irelia, again, if she has a good early game, then she'll have a great late game, and that's where she really shines. Definitely in that mid and late game, just going after those squishies as that bruiser she is. And then we will potentially have a Soraka, again, one of the best supports, along with Sona and Janna, who seems to be the flavour of months at the moment.
Important to note as well that obviously Ashe is an incredibly strong champion from Lamia. So perhaps it's a case that Iplay just do not want to face off against Lamia's Ashe. Very, very likely. Obviously banning out one of the opposition that you fear is a good way of stratting in, I guess you could say. So we are going to have Corki, Irelia, Malphite picked up for Iplay, and so far Fnatic, as we said before, the aforementioned Ahri alongside Ezreal. So as maybe going with Yorick. And judging from the Iplay composition pulse, you have to assume that it's going to be Irelia top with Malphite in the jungles.
Yeah, for sure. That's what it looks like at the moment. And then Yorick. Yeah, we've seen a lot of Yorick, basically. And because it's all down to that laning phase, and then also that ultimate, really great on the AD carry as well. Good late game scaling. And then Nunu. Okay, so I assume it'll be Nunu support. Could be Nunu jungle because the Nunu has, the jungle has not been picked yet. And I definitely think that Nunu jungle is very viable at the moment. We've seen it actually in the Elites of Europe a couple of days ago, so it's definitely viable. And then Anivia could be coming out here from Johnny. And waiting for Shaft to pick his pick as well. So yeah, what do you think of the team comps at the moment?
They're interesting, because obviously we are waiting for the last 2 picks for Iplay, but Irelia, Malphite, Corki, there's a lot of potential there. Obviously, I've said before many times, I've stated my case that I can't stand playing against Malphite, but I love having him on my team, because the initiate potential is huge, and he's just generally a real big pain in the backside, especially from jungle. And on the other team, for Fnatic, Yorick is a very kind of harassment, bully type champion at top lane. Ahri has the beautiful maneuverability that we've mentioned before in mid, can just gank a lot, can stay on the outsides of the battles. And Nunu, as you mentioned, we saw played in the jungle in the Elite of Europe and actually did pretty damn well. So again, there's a lot of potential there. It looks like we're going to have Blitzcrank alongside Corki at bot lane, and Anivia facing off against Ahri in the mid. And Janna potentially getting picked up from Cyanide. So that would obviously indicate, if that's going to be the case, yep, we're going to have Nunu in jungle.
Nice, I like it. And there's a lot of potential there, honestly. And I'm just looking to make sure it's not an AP Janna. Yeah, okay. So there's a lot of potential for both teams. They have a great picking team, because obviously Blitzcrank allows that to happen. Great lockdown as well, so great late game scaling. And Nivea scale as well, Corki scale as well, if depends how he builds. And we've got the Corki and Yorick matchup again. That's gonna be fun. Yorkie always has to be there. And then Janna for the great counter initiate as well, because they're fairly close ranged when you look at it. So the rest of the team, yeah, good mid game scaling on Fnatic, and then good late game scaling on Iplay.
Yeah, and we said this before that Irelia is so good at being an anti-AD and AP. Having said that, though, both Peke and Lamia have get out of jail free cards. They have the Spirit Rush from Ari and the Arcane Shift from Lamia. So even if Irelia does jump on in there, they can escape feasibly. You've also got Janna, who's a great counter pick, in my opinion, to Irelia, because as soon as she darts in, Janna can just say, no, get lost, there's a Monsoon, there's a Howling Gale, you're not getting close to anyone on my team. And then in amongst all of that, you've also got the Nunu pick. And the Nunu pick is very good. The only thing that I do worry a tiny bit about here from Cyanide is if he pops his ultimate before Malphite's Unstoppable Force, it's going to get cancelled, because obviously Unstoppable Force knocks everybody up in the air, and Absolute Zero is a channeling ultimate. So it's definitely one to watch out for as we progress into this game. So either way, guys, we have about 2 minutes 20 remaining on the delay, so we're going to cut to a very quick commercial break, and when you rejoin us, we'll be live for the first and only game in this tournament between Fnatic and Iplay. We'll see you very shortly after this little commercial break. Hey guys, ladies and gents, we are live here for Fnatic versus Iplay, and if you could hear us in the break, shame on you, you dirty, dirty people.
Yeah, I feel even more dirty after what they heard.
Because yeah, we don't exactly keep it to PG-13, so I'm hoping that you didn't hear anything. But if you did, then congratulations, I guess. Either way, it's gonna be Fnatic against Iplay. Very interesting comps overall. I feel like Nunu and Malphite is going to be quite an interesting one, not just in the jungling phase, but afterwards as well, towards mid to late games. All going to be down to how Cyanide utilizes the absolute zero. Can he go in the bushes and catch people off guard? I'm not too sure that Iplay are going to fall for that, but we are going to have a fairly scary level 1 actually here from Iplay. You've got the Blitzcrank pull and the Flash Frost from Anivia. Lumi has to be so careful running away here. The grab just misses. Oh my god, the Flash Frost has landed, so perhaps they're going to get take 2 at this one. The Equilibrium Strike comes in, and the Ignite, and that's going to be first blood, courtesy of Irelia. So the replacement for Feliox not working out too well right now.
Yeah, perfect positioning, but unfortunately just got caught. Great Flash Frost, and they, of course, had the second chance at that one, so that'll be the first blood. Probably wouldn't be invading on that one, and will just be backing off and going for their jungle, because honestly, that's the best they can hope for. So they are already 600 gold ahead, probably because of the Greed Mastery as well, and of course the assist gold. And I'm interested, okay, they are going to put Irelia top. We saw this matchup before. We had Irelia versus Yorick, and we had bottom lane swap with top, so Irelia wouldn't be so far behind, and we had a long conversation about this. So they are actually going to have Irelia top. That might hurt her quite significantly. Irelia not known for a great early game, levels 1 to 6, until she does get those Transcendent Blades, so I don't know, it's basically down to how Yorick can punish her, and whether her own jungler can really help her out. But it's Malphite.
Yeah, and I think the good thing is that Irelia got first blood. So at the moment, looking quite strong up there. Having said that, hasn't bought a cloth on or anything else. It's been a sight ward and an extra health port, which of course can make all the difference. It's those small little things that can build up at top lane especially. It's like you're in a world of your own up there. But it was, I believe, Anguish and Curse EU with the aforementioned tactic that you were mentioning, where Anguish went down to bot lane and they switched things up a tiny bit later on. Can Pain trade well? That's the question that's going to be, I reckon, on both of our minds. And thus far, it seems fairly equal at top.
Massive issue is when laning against Yorick is he has ridiculous sustain. You trade off well. Here's a ghoul. Here's another one. Here's another 10, and then you've just lost the lane. Congratulations.
Well, we are going to have Malphite coming towards top lane. So you mentioned before, will the jungler be able to come in? A flash and the ground slam does have a red buff. They will be going to tower dive this one, but an Ignite comes back over though towards Shaft, and Soaz has not fallen just yet. Nunu landing a nice ice blast on towards Pain, and a second one. Can they pick up this kill? Jumping back on towards Soaz. You are going to get a kill, but can they actually return here? The ice blast comes through, will finish off Irelia. So 1-for-1 exchange, but Irelia picked up the kill and Yorick did not. And that could prove to be vital, as Irelia does take herself a Dorn's Blade.
Yeah, 2-1, that's really good for Irelia, and that was great play. I was like, I'm probably going to die anyway, because that chain slow from Nunu is horrible to play against, and it's almost impossible to get away from. So I couldn't duke away from it, I might as well go back in, burst Yorick down, get the kill. Perfect play. And right now, as you said, 2-1 and significantly ahead of Yorick, so that might actually get to the point where she will win the lane. However, she just lost about 2, maybe 3 waves to turret, so it's not looking good. She will be there in time for at least 2 waves, but even so.
Yeah, the creeps from Purple Team though are pushing fairly heavily. Meanwhile, bot lane we are going to have Lamia and also Lumi pushing very aggressively. And in the meantime, we did have Anivia pulling down 2, but there is a ward, so Anivia was spotted. Blitzcrank alongside Corky will be playing fairly passive for now, but the ward coverage actually from Fnatic is pretty damn strong. They've got one around the Dragon Slash Tribush area and one in the bot lane on top of that. So nice stuff from them. But yeah, again, just going back to that top lane. So Irelia is on 2-for-1. She's gone back to spawn and picked up the Dorn's Blade. On Yorick, a Meki Pendant. So Irelia is definitely looking strong at top lane as it stands. Also a level above Soaz. Literally a full level.
That's really nice early aim as well, and it looks like Nunu looking for that laning gank. Definitely happened. I don't think Irelia has seen him just yet. He has. Not quite. If he lands the first slow, he's going to land them all, because he can chain them. And that slow is absolutely ridiculous. But he's going to go ahead and recall. I think Irelia... Oh, she's also going to recall at full health and full mana. Interesting. What's she going to pick up? Might be another Doran's. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, indeed. She had about 720 gold remaining, so Doran's plus a sight ward, really trying to make sure that she doesn't fall behind a top lane, feeling that she's a fair chunk ahead, And of course, taking those wards and placing them around, giving yourself vision, significantly lowers the opportunity for Cyanide to come towards that top lane and try and equal it all up. Because you said before, right at the beginning, Irelia against Yorick, Malphite is going to need to be kind of active at top and very much present, and then that's exactly what happened, and actually managed to pick up a kill for Irelia. So now she's far enough ahead, she can feel confident at top lane, and she's going to try and snowball this one to victory for a team.
Yeah, but honestly, if you do shut down Yorick, or even if you do well against him, your job's done, because Yorick is there for lane dominance. Once again, Nunu looking for the top gank, but there is a ward there right now. And I think she may have warded top bush as well. Yeah, definitely very, very safe. So, good play from the Pain right there, and maybe a snowball, but I think really has to actually go for the tower dive.
They're gonna go for the dive. Wow, this is ballsy. They're taking a lot of damage in the meantime. Also, Peke come from the side. They have opted. They've really targeted Irelia and said, look, she's too far ahead, we need to bring her back down a peg or two. So that was a 3 versus 1 at top, and importantly from Fnatic, Peke picks up the kill. That's going to be scary.
Definitely. Obviously those mages do scale well into mid-game, and that's around 20 minutes anyway, 15-20 minutes, and that's really, really nice. The thing is, if you get top snowballing, especially with Yorick, he can handle himself. Like, you don't really need to babysit him too much, because he'll push you to your tower, he'll harass you from range, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if they get him to that point, then they're good to go. Because Irelia is still behind on CS, still got those 2 kills, but is now down 2 kills as well. So it's evened up, and Yorick's got the 2 assists, so he's in a good position. He's probably equal with Irelia right now, and on those terms, Yorick is ahead.
So looking good. Sork Shoes has been finished off onto Ari, and Tear of the Goddess onto Yorick. So Manamune more than likely is going to be picked up for Soaz in the conceivable future. Let's have a look at some of the more of the items around the map. Not a great deal to talk about. I'm assuming from Corky that he hasn't gone back yet. Yes, has 1,600 gold at his disposal. In the meantime, you do have Ezreal on 1,730. We are going to have some harassment at top. Pain being very, very aggressive against Soaz. But as you said before, the sustain that Yorick brings to the table is incredible. You could be ahead one moment, and a couple ghouls later, suddenly you're behind again.
Yeah, if you're going to trade with a Yorick, you have to be pretty certain you're 1, going to come out ahead, and 2, almost be in perfect timing for a kill immediately after. If not, look, Yorick's full health again, didn't even pop a pot. Irelia's popped 2, and she's half health.
And Yorick has just hit 6. So it's getting a bit scarier right now. He has the Omen of Death. Of course, he can spawn a ghoul of himself and continue after death. He's going to be going on towards Pain. Pain firing off the Transcendent Blades. Here we go. This should be a kill. In fact, no, you're going to have a flash popped from Pain. And again, we were saying it before, that if you go back about 30-40 seconds, Irelia was slightly ahead of Yorick. Suddenly, he's on full HP, and she's on like a quarter, and he tried to pounce and pick up the kill. That's the strength of Yorick.
Yeah, just incredible harass, incredible sustain, lane bully, but he just fall off. If you can survive, you're good, but even then he has his ultimate. If your AD carry does well, then he's going to scale well. It's an odd champion in that respect. He can dominate his lane, and if his bottom dominates as well, then it's even better. But Peke also going to scale well into that mid game, 1-0 right now, actually ahead of Anivia on farm in fact, and just have those sword boots, and the Doran's ring doing a lot of damage to Johnny.
Oh, that was a nice charm there. And Johnny couldn't do too much in retaliation, because if you ever look at his mana, he doesn't have too much. Yes, he has the blue, but it's still going to take a little while to come back. He needs to be careful, puts down the ward. But the reason I said he had to be careful, there was a ward down there from Ari as well. In the meantime, at top lane, you are going to have Malphite in the top bush, but unbeknownst to him, there is a ward in there. Soaz knows this, and now they're going to try and bring this back into their advantage. Could they be going for a tower dive? Look at Nunu just waiting in the wings, but it's not going to be quick enough there. Here comes the absolute 0 in the meantime. That's going to be Pain going down. Can they pick up the 2 kill? Will it be a 1-for-2 exchange? They're chasing after him. Shaft is soaking up a lot of damage, but he will be going down very shortly from Nunu, you have to feel. And Ari actually pops all the way up to top lane. It's like, thank you very much. I'll be taking my 2nd kill and getting even stronger. And as expected, Manamune has been finished off, but Anivia actually has been waiting with the Ignite as well. Here comes the Spirit Rush. Is it going to be enough to actually pull himself back here, Peke? The answer is a resounding yes. So even though Ignite and a couple of those abilities were used from Anivia, Peke is still going to be going back to spawn at 2-0.
Very, very nice. It was good turnaround from Nunu, and plus because Yorick popped his ultimate on himself, yeah, he was alive for another 10 seconds, and Ari, roaming capability, is second best to a global ultimate basically, and her kit is really, really nice for roaming and the ganks. So, yeah, perfect play. As soon as she knew that was happening, roam to top, much faster than slow Anivia. So, she knew she was going to hit there first, and of course that's about 10 seconds into it. What was that? Were you watching that?
The arcane shift, yeah.
Yeah.
that was perfect timing, I think, from Lamia, but I'm pretty sure Blitzcrank right now, Immortal, is itching his head, and he's like, what the hell just happened there? Pink Ward is down on Drake from the blue team, so they are going to be picking up that ward, and yeah, taking away the vision. Here comes Nunu from the upper regions, from mid, pulling himself down. There is a ward there, though. They are going to be jumping on top of this one regardless. Lamia is on fairly low HP, but Corki has no mana remaining. Malphite and Nunu both go into the Tribush, kind of a carbon copy of last night. In fact, the night before that, when we saw Dedrion and Meluno always bumping heads in the same position from the jungle aspect. And both junglers have been very active so far, you have to say. Irelia has 3 kills, but 2 of them were courtesy of Malphite. And on the flip side, you do have Yorick with 3 assists, at least 2 of which were courtesy of Nunu.
Definitely. Again, we're in that position where bottom lane actually.
Yeah, bot lane, Ezreal is trying his best to escape. There is an exhaust pop. Here comes the unstoppable force from Malphite. That's going to be a very, very dead Ezreal. Can they pick up the double? Looking likely as the grab has landed. Even the Eye of the Storm comes in, it's not going to do enough. And it's going to be the double kill from Malphite, who's getting stronger and stronger. Scary for Fnatic. Those ganks with unstoppable force from Malphite are so incredibly strong. I would say he has more of a presence than Nunu does, just purely on his ultimate.
Yeah, Nunu wasn't ganking very much pre-6, but he really couldn't. He didn't have really great gank lanes because Yorick doesn't really have any CC of his own. He was only really counter-ganking. Ari was constantly pushing against Anivia because he didn't really have the mana to. Bottom lane, he tried, but he just couldn't get the ganks off. It was just not good times for Nunu. He could counter jungle and just farm. That's all he could do, really. Meanwhile, mid.
Yeah, mid Ignite has gone down. Johnny should be falling here. That was so good from Ari, but nope. Egg form, the troll ult from Anivia does come in, but I guess job done from Ari, because now going to go back to spawn, pick up a couple more items, and now knowing that if Anivia gets dropped, she will be dying.
Yeah, for sure. And it will be very easy to do so. Johnny going to be forced to go back, got no mana of his own. Blue Beef is spawning fairly soon actually, and Shaft doing the same, so they will be there pretty much at the same time, ready to pick that one up. And of course, the Iplay bottom lane will be picking up that red buff as well, because at the moment, Malphite doesn't necessarily need it, and it's much nicer for the AD carry to have. I was just saying that you kind of expect Fnatic will be ahead because of their composition, the stronger early game and mid game, though they are behind in kills right now, but they still are ahead in gold. So they are slightly ahead, that's to be expected. Iplay scale better, honestly. It looks all around the board. Good initiation, Anivia scales well with the control in the team fight. Good picking capability with Blitzcrank, and Irelia scales really well in her own right. Depends how Corki builds, but of course he'll probably go for that Trinity Force just so they have some mid-game scaling.
Now Blitz has popped off his W. The overdrive does land the grab on towards Janna. Such a beautiful take from Blitz. Literally creating that kill out of nothing, Pulse. Had you landed it onto Ezreal, Janna would have been able to pop off the Howling Gale, would have been able to actually push them back also. So it would have been really difficult to actually pick up the kill on towards Ezreal, especially as he also has the Arcane Shift. By landing onto Janna, it was pretty much a definite kill. So awesome stuff from Mortal. Now they're going to be going back on towards Lamia. Can he land the grab? No, he won't, but forces the flash. So awesome work from him. And at top play, in amongst all of that, Yorick will be taking down Irelia. And he's getting stronger and stronger as the game goes on. In the meantime, though, Shaft is moving his way. Does he have his ultimate? Yes, he does. Will he use it? I'm pretty doubtful. In fact, yes, he will be going in, trying to pick up the kill on towards Soaz. The amount of sustain, though, could keep him alive long enough to actually bridge in with Cyanide. Here comes Cyanide. So Shaft using that ultimate, and now he's in a really difficult situation. Absolute Zero is going to be popped off, and Soaz is going to take down the kill alongside Cyanide. This is why I was a bit confused as to why Malphite went in with the Unstoppable Force. He must have known that Cyanide was close enough to come on back and help his teammate out.
Greed. In a word, greed. He saw the kill, tried to pick one up, tried to advance his team, but just got killed, basically, because Nunu has incredible roaming capability. If he goes movement speed boost, it's like 500 movement speed. It's ridiculous when he has his Blood Boil on as well. Even with Blood Boil, 446 with the Mercury Treads. Incredible mobility. That's the great thing about Nunu jungle. At bottom lane, as you said, yeah, it was a really good opportunity that Nunu basically created for Corki. And generally you don't want to be focusing the support because they can tank up damage and then you trade off and then the enemy wins because the AD carry is not being pestered or CC'd. But if you can instantly burst them down, go for it, because before the AD carry can react, 2 versus 1, they're going to win that as well. It's great if you have burst lanes, and that is why they've gone Corki and Ezreal. Corki and Ezreal are both proc carries and they have both amazing burst.
Yeah, and Blitzcrank's a kind of support that if you can land his grabs, especially after level 6, there is so much burst damage there, of course, alongside his static field, where he explodes and silences. So, against a character like Janna, Blitz is actually very, very strong. Having said that, though, here comes Nunu around the side, so quickly with his Blood Boil, but look how much damage that Janna's actually taking. Will be going down, 1 for an exchange, though. Ezreal will go on towards Blitzcrank. Can they pick up the 2 for 1? Doesn't look likely. Cyanide chomping through a mini with his consumability, so that's going to be support for support exchanged. And fairly even overall, but again, Cyanide coming down to bot lane and trying to make something happen. 2, 0, and 5, his scoreline, compared to Malphite's 2, 2, and 2.
Yeah, definitely. Well, he played it right, but that was a 2 versus 3 situation and he made it a 1 for 1. So Iplay just... their bottom lane is outstanding in the way they react to guys, and now Shaft coming in as well.
Yeah, Shaft actually has his ultimate, and if they're coming around the side, there should be 2 guaranteed kills. Cyanide's trying his best to escape and separate the herd from Lamia, but Lamia has no health remaining. Also, Flash is on cooldown, and he will be getting dropped courtesy of Corki. Peke is coming down, but Flash Frost very nearly landing on top of him. Can Peke pick up any kills? Or is this too dangerous of a position to be in? Sure, Janna's coming around from the side, but realistically, what can she do? There's the Spirit Rush being popped from Peke, going back in once again, just trying to harass them down. And actually, Peke probably saved Fnatic a Drake there, to be honest, because if Peke stays in mid in that position, I'm pretty sure that Iplay, I should say, apologies, would be going on to that Drake fairly soon afterwards.
Definitely. No matter where Pain goes, he's just followed by ghouls. Like, Soaz just sticks to him like glue. It's like you're never going to get away from the ghoul. You can leave top all you like. Tails is still standing, and he's just migrated to mid, it's fine. So, yeah, it's still really irritating for them right now. Fnatic, despite being behind, still have a strong composition at this stage in the game, but Iplay, of course, have the better scaling. If they can get to that place in the game faster with the kills and the gold, then all the better. But interesting enough, ahead in head and kills, behind in gold.
And gold's the important statistic. Here comes Peke though. He is going to be getting down so quickly, but has been popped off with the Auric ultimate. Can he actually do anything in retaliation for his teammate gifting him that second life? Yes, he will pick up the kill on Tyrelia before going down. So nicely done from Peke, but it still ended up being a 1 for 2 exchange. Definitely not worth it.
Yeah, quite odd. It was 2 versus 4, completely overextending, and that's like a bronze elo mistake. Meanwhile, bottom.
Oh, Lumi is caught so out of position, gonna flash through, but can't help but feel that was kind of wasted. And Mortal will be coming around. Monsoon has also been popped off, so going through all of the abilities. I may actually eat my words, because Lumi seems to be pushing away very nicely and biding some time from Corki to go on to Ezreal. Still alive somehow, finally getting put down. But I'm going to hold my hands up and say I was wrong. By Lumi doing that and kind of dragging away a couple players, it allowed Ezreal to pick up the kill at Corki in a 1 versus 1, and she managed to actually subside the onslaught long enough to allow the rest of the team to push on in. So, awesome play from Janna at the end.
Yeah, just kited all day. It was just the longest kite in history. That's the great thing you can do with Janna. High mobility, got the Zephyr, got the knock-up, and she can pass through minions. It's just great. Great kiting ability. And she can do that to entire teams because the CC is AoE, or at least the Howling Gale is, and the ultimate. And it looks like Fnatic will be making a time push onto Drake right now. They do not have the AD carry, but they still have a lot of damage, great sustain DPS, and of course Irelia will be pushing top, because that's what you do. And in that situation, you see that happening in pretty much every game. First Drake goes down, top lane will be pushing that top tower. Is that the first Drake? 90 minutes into the game.
It is, yeah. And importantly enough as well, Immortal managed to get a ward down, so did catch the timing on Drake. They are going to know when Drake went down, which of course is vital information for Iplay. They do find themselves about 1.5k gold behind. Nothing really to write home about this stage of the game, to be entirely honest with you, after just 20 minutes, but still tiny bit of a breather opening up. Immortal's going to be trying to fire and scores a goal right down the middle of Janet and Ari, not managing to land on either of them. And now Ari's going to be going in with a Spirit Rush with the Eye of the Storm on top of that, going to be able to absorb some of that damage. Does land the Charm. Look at the damage that he is putting out right now alongside the Ignite. The Howling Gale comes in, going back in once again. Can they pick up some kills? Looking likely 1-for-1 exchange. This could actually backfire on Fnatic. A 2-for-1. It could be a 3-for... Oh no! Oh, Johnny just whiffing his wall and allowing Cyanide to escape. They are going to flash in though, trying to finish it off now. Flash Frost going in, they will pick up this kill. So that ends up being a 1-for-3 exchange at bot lane in favour of Iplay. That was a bit of a head scratcher, but at top lane, Fnatic are just going to push all day long. They don't even care.
The problem is right now they're just getting picked continuously. They haven't had a team fight at all. It's just been picks after picks. They're trying to get picks, and they just get turned around by great play from Iplay. It's just not looking great for them. If they go for a team fight, they'll probably win it, because they're still ahead in gold, but they've just let Iplay get too many kills from them. Stupidly, in my opinion. It's like, yes, they're trying to get picks, but it's just overextending. If they force a team fight, then they'll win it. They know they'll win it. While they're trying to go for picks when Iplay have a great picking team of their own, doesn't make too much sense.
Well, even though Iplay are 5 kills ahead, they're still behind by over 2,000 gold, which is impressive. If you have a look at the farming statistics here from Fnatic, they are ahead in pretty much all camps. Ari, 198 to Anivia's 155. Yorick, 145 to Irelia's 114. And finally, Ezreal and Corki are the closest, with just 9 separating them. Ezreal 170, Corki 161. So even though they're kills behind, farm-wise they're ahead, and also on top of that, important to note, they have destroyed 3 towers. And again, we go back to that point. In fact, wait one sec, bot lane we could see some kills, Lamia being forced to Arcane Shift away. Either way, what I was going to say before is we go back to that important statistic. Kills are all well and good, it's the gold that really counts, and alongside the turrets.
That's something that really demoralizes players. Actually, Anivia looking for the gank here, they didn't have any wards.
Oh my god, this gank is real terror, and Anivia picking up both kills, which is great news for Iplay, because Anivia is going to get so scary. The later this game goes, already on 4-0-6 with a Rod of Ages, must have a fair amount of gold at a disposal, indeed 1,935. In the meantime, at blue, Pain should be going down, 3 players, they're probably going to give this kill to Peke, indeed they will. So a 1-for-2 exchange globally against Fnatic. But yeah, Anivia is getting quite scary at this point in time. You're also going to have the pull coming out. Nunu is going to be baiting in that bush. Absolute Zero crushing through Immortal. But Anivia, very smart play, just waited back, realizing it could have been a bait. In the meantime, you're going to have Ari going back onto a shaft. Manages to land the charm and do a lot of damage. In the meantime, the True Shot Barrage comes down from Ezreal, and somehow, some way, Blitzcrank managed to actually recall in the middle of that battle and got away with his life.
That was the best recall. Actually, Lamia chasing after Crazy Raid. Double flash goes down.
Ooh, do you think he's got this?
Oh, I don't know. There's no tower there either.
There isn't, but look at Anivia. Anivia's coming down. This could backfire once again. Could be a 1-for-2 exchange. Corki's finally gone down, and it's not going to be 1-for-2 exchange. In fact, this could be a 2-for-0 exchange if Ezreal keeps on pushing through. Anivia, does she have the egg? Yes, she does. Rebirth is up, so not quite managing to pop the egg in that case. Yorick's going to be going on towards Immortal, but importantly, Corki did go down without any retaliation.
Yeah, that was a pick that actually worked this time round. And still, I'm left the feeling that Fnatic need to go for a team fight. Honestly, they have it right now. If they leave it, then I get the feeling they're going to scale off, because obviously Ari great in mid game, great for the roaming, but obviously roaming stage is over since his left laning phase. They're grouping up right now. They should just, yeah, try and force a team fight. Meanwhile, at top, Pain, he could be caught by Yorick here, and the rest of the team if Nunu gets there as well.
Yeah, the slow is going to come out any second now. There you go from Soaz. Here comes the Foxfire from Ari. Peke doing lots of damage. Pain did manage to tank quite a bit of that, but unfortunately, once again, they're getting picked out. And if you have a quick look I'm a bit interested as to why Aurelia pushed the lane so hard. There is no ward coverage from Iplay across that river at all. None. So I had no idea what was happening until it was already on top of him. Shaft, in the meantime, is getting chased down by 4 players. Very tanky, but is he going to be tanky enough to go through this? Ari, the question is, no unstoppable force was used to try and hold them off for a couple seconds. A 1-for-1 exchange there between the two teams, and Nivea did go on to Janna, but Nunu picked up the kill onto Malphite. So, yeah, Fnatic have reassumed that 2k gold advantage, even though they're 4 kills behind.
Okay. I'm also landing a great grab right there, and that actually picked up the kill for them, evening up to 1-for-1. But even so, they are getting picked, though. I really sacrificed herself for a tower, so a kill for a tower isn't that bad at all, actually. It's fairly even, or actually worked out in their favour, though it is an alpha turret and doesn't have a massive amount of impact onto the map control. But either way, Credit Right might be picking up this blue, red rather, and there we go. So right now, if they leave it for too long, then Iplay are just going to scale better than them, because that's how the characters just roll. It's just how it works. They have a better pick comp, they have just better scaling, better scaling characters rather.
Is my mic working? No.
It was. You just cut off halfway through a point. It was like, okay.
I was talking and you're like, oh, okay. I was like, what? So I guess my mic had a bit of a brain lag or something. I don't quite understand what happened, but either way, we are going to be kicking off on towards Drake, which of course is back up once again. Fairly sporadic attempt from Iplay, managing to land it on towards Lumi, who's forced to pop off the monsoon. They're not going to be giving chase here, but Ari with a nice charm through the Dragon pit wall on towards Tribush. Very much a split from both teams, actually. Cyanide's all by himself. Corky's going to be chasing afterwards with the missile barrage. Should be picking up this kill. There you go. In the meantime, you're going to have 3 of Fnatic towards the top of Drake. And this actually has worked quite poor from Fnatic's viewpoint. Getting split up from the pack. Unstoppable Force comes in onto Peke. If he drops, that's a big chunk of the damage out of the equation. Forced to run away. Are they going to try and capitalize on this? Soaz comes back in once again, but Corky in prime position to pick up some kills. You have to feel. Blitzcrank will go on to Yorkie, and Yorkie, there it is. I think it was going to come out eventually. Peke's being chased down. The hourglass has been used, but just prolonging the inevitable. There we go. Corky will go down from Ari, who actually gets a double kill, the triple kill as well. There's me saying, there we go, expecting Ari to go down, and they just pulled out a 1v3 clutch of a lifetime on about 50 HP. What in the hell just happened?
I was ready to say that was a great team fight from Iplay, splitting up the fight, picking everyone off. X-Peke, 50 HP, not 50%, 50 HP, 1 versus 3. What?
We didn't factor into the case that Peke's playing, did we? We were like, that's a pretty good team fight. Oh wait, Peke's just cleaned everybody up with 50 HP. As you do with Ari. That was ridiculous. So 8-2-4. I think that's on par. Even though it was a triple kill, I honestly think that's on par with the pentakill we saw in the previous game. Just for individual brilliance from Peke.
Yeah, it's just the way Peke did it was just amazing. Because yes, it was a penta, but it had the team behind him, of course, and he was just like mopping up the kills. But Peke literally 1v3'd. Wow. That was amazing.
I actually called there you go, as if to say, there we go, yeah. Peke's died. And then suddenly I was like, wait a second, Peke's killed 1, 2, 3 people. What the hell? So, yeah, Peke didn't die, ladies and gents. Went back to spawn and picked up a needlessly large rod on top of the Hourglass and the Abyssal Scepter. And that could just be the moment of brilliance that gives Fnatic this victory. They now find themselves 4 point, math isn't great, 5. So 4.5k gold advantage over Iplay at the moment, even though they are still 2 kills behind. They're going to go for this Drake as well. Doesn't look like Iplay are going to be too bothered about this. So yeah, Drake on top of everything else. So this game is still quite close, in my opinion, Pulse, but Fnatic definitely have the little edge ahead right now.
Right now, they have quite a large edge, actually, because, well, Ari's fared 8-2. They have the better mid game, and Iplay scale well into late game, but they're being pushed behind by that team fight. So right now, I think the next fight is going to be at Baron rather, or it could be at one of the towers. I'm expecting Baron now, because they are moving around the area. They do have an Oracle, looks like they're clearing up at the moment, but they're just definitely trying to force them there. And yeah, Ezreal uses ultimate, so looks like they are trying to dig in around this area right now. 30 minutes in, It's what you expect. 24 minutes onwards is generally when you see those first Barons come out. Ooh, Immortal. Immortal's been landing some great grabs this game, it has to be said.
He has, and you can see that Fnatic are kind of giving him credit. They're respecting his potential possibility of pulling somebody in, so kind of all lurking around the same area. There is a ward down in the bush and another one, so Janet with the Oracles will be leading the pursuit. I'm going to take that one down. Need to be careful though, because around the backside Iplay are lurking. Unstoppable Force is off cooldown, so it is available. You also have the Anivia ulti, of course, which is ever present, the Glacial Storm. Very aggressive push from Fnatic. Cyanide going in first. It's going to get stunned down. They realise that Soaz and Fnatic, and also Cyanide and Fnatic, are extremely tanky at this point and can soak up a lot of the damage, allowing that meat shield to come in to allow Ezreal and Ahri to dart round the sides and put down serious pain. Maybe just trying to bait out the Unstoppable Force at this point from Malphite. But the Flash Frost has just landed from Anivia. It looks like nothing's really going to happen. So Fnatic, yeah, Lamia's going to recall, also Janna's going to recall, and in the meantime Iplay are going to farm their jungle.
That was very clever by Fnatic. They were trying to push them out onto open ground where they're strongest. Ahri strong on open ground, but on the flip side, Iplay have a great jungle fight, because Shaft can get his ultimate on everyone, so can Johnny. Johnny can split up the team fight with the wall. Corki can just stay behind the massive just wall bruises, and it's easier for Blitzcrank to land the grab. So if they draw them out onto open ground, Peke can go ahead and kite. Cyanide can split them up again with his ultimate, because that's what his ultimate kind of does. It makes everyone want to run away and hide. And then Lamia can kite, everyone can kite, and then you have Janna as well. It just makes perfect sense. It's splitting them up, and it's very difficult to do in the jungle.
Yeah, at this point, I feel it's going to come down to one of a couple of things. I think if Blitzcrank is going to pull off a sick pull and actually open up the team fight. So if he can land a pull on Ezreal, of course he has the Arcane Shift, so it's not even a guaranteed kill. But if they can pull Ezreal and nuke him down quick enough, or an Ahri and nuke her down quick enough, then it could open up things for Iplay. But on the other side, you've got Anivia. If she can land... Sorry, not Anivia, what am I talking about? You've got Ahri. If she can land a Charm and actually do the exact same type of thing, land it onto a Corki, land it onto a Anivia, and nuke them down quick enough, it's going to be the exact same kind of occurrence. So it's going to come down to those plays, in my opinion. Or, on the complete opposite side, it's just going to be some massive monumental fight right in the heart of Baron Pit. I think that's what it's going to come down to here. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that, and I expect that will be the case. Everyone's just kind of dissipating now. I'm really heading top, Corki heading bottom. This could be it, actually. Craddy Raid pushing out bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fnatic are going to see this any second now, and they're going to try and capitalize on it.
They're going to see him right now at bot lane, and they're probably going to try and force something, because even though Corki has his Valkyrie, he's not exactly going to be able to just teleport towards mid lane. You can see the pings are now coming up from the blue team. They're like, Corki, dude, we kind of need you. You're AD carry. So you can see Fnatic, as we said before, starting to play a bit more aggressive. They did a couple hits onto the tower. Now Corki's moving his way up through the jungle. So Fnatic not really able to capitalize on that one. Charm did go out from Ahri, putting down a lot of damage onto Corki. Corki falls to about 50% HP in the blink of an eye. And there's a lot of poke potential, actually, from both teams, because obviously Lamia has his Mystic Shots. You've got Ahri with the Orb of Deception, but you've also got the Missile Barrage and the Flash Frost, in particular, from the team of Iplay. But look at Fnatic. They're going up for the Baron. They surely have seen this ward. Surely Jan has seen this ward. It's going to allow Peke to land an Orb of Deception and try and hold off the onslaught. The ward has now been taken out of the equation. They're still chasing on to Peke, taking a lot of damage in the process. Here comes Fnatic, Cyanide right down the heart. Is he going to bother to pop up the absolute zero? Answer is a yes, but I think it actually got cancelled straight away. We'll be picking up the kill to Malphite regardless. Ahri around the side is going to be jumping on with the Foxfires, taking a lot of damage there from Johnny, but manages to pop the egg. In the meantime, towards the top, they're chasing after Corki, separating him from the pack. Shut down onto Ahri, courtesy of Blitzcrank, but there goes Anivia down into the dumps, and Immortal will soon find himself joining. So a beautiful job there. Corki coming back in once again, trying to pick up some kills, but I think he's going to go down without any problems whatsoever. Cyanide getting low, but that's the one soon from Janna. And you have to give huge props to Fnatic there. They managed to completely take Corki out of that team fight. He was pretty much running and retreating the entirety of that one right up until the end. And they focused down Anivia very quickly, put her down into egg form, and we managed to just stomp her afterwards. That was a 5-for-1 exchange. And just Peke died on Fnatic. Should be a free Baron.
Yeah, it was very good. If you have 2 bruisers chasing one person, that's bad. But if you take another carry out before that happens, it's good. Because you've essentially put 2 for 2, 2 bruisers for 2 carries is well worth the trade. Especially when your carries are just ripping into their bruisers. It was a perfect trade for them. Perfect. And then Blitzcrank did manage to get the shutdown onto Xpeke, but obviously it's Blitzcrank. It was a great ultimate, but he was the only person who could actually get that done. She had the shield on her as well. The egged Nivea was down. It was nothing they could do. Again, Fnatic in a great position. Almost 10k ahead. Massive turnaround. As soon as they went for those team fights, they started winning. And of course, a small feat, the triple kill from Xpeke, 1 versus 3.
Yeah, that was pretty astonishing. And then we go back to that kind of phrase that we've used before. It's not the kills that matter, it's the gold. Look, only 2 kill difference between the 2 teams. It would look quite close on that basis, but goal difference, pretty much huge. That's down to Fnatic taking the objectives. They've taken the Baron, of course. They've taken, I think they've taken every dragon thus far, Pulse. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's every dragon has gone down to Fnatic, so that's the reason. On top of course, better farming. It's pretty much that simple. In laning phase, they had better farm overall. The closest was the AD carries at one stage. They had about 9 difference, but there was 40 or 50 difference in mid and top. So Fnatic looking extremely strong against Iplay. You need to be careful because Iplay are being set apart once again, but they are now going to be moving in together. Flash Frost thrown out from Anivia, and he's going to find its target onto the minions, and doing enough to just repel Fnatic for now. But in the meantime, Lamia will be rejoining his team, and it's a full Baron team other than, of course, Peke. So right now, Ezreal's going to be very scary. 324 AD and 75 ability power. That's going to hurt incredibly hard.
I was literally just going to say, it seems odd to push mid and inhibit the turret when they have Blitzcrank, who could easily turn us around by getting a pick. And immediately they ping top, and they go for top, so there we go. And most likely, they might try and siege one of these. If they get a inhib turret, then they'll go straight to bottom, because it's an easy pickup after that. It's interesting, they could easily just go to bottom right now and just get that pick, but they want to do something... Ooh, those Blitzcrank grabs. They want to do something that's really going to hurt them. And trying to get one of these towers. They're just trying to walk around, chip at a tower, and then run off, and then go to a different turret and chip off at it.
Oh, Malphite's just went balls deep there, just jumping straight in with his ultimate. Not too sure about the play because he's taking so much damage and he's overextended without any backup from the rest of his team. Irelia's low, Malphite's low. Corki will pick up the first kill onto Yorick though, but Ari straight back onto Blitzcrank. And this is not a good exchange right now for Iplay. They're going to take a second death on their team. It's soon to be a triple. Corki on very low health. Look at that ice ball. Had the longest range ever. And the execute will come out onto Ezreal. So to make matters worse, they'll even get accredited with that kill. Peke going back on towards Malphite. So ended up being a 3-for-3 exchange. Peke, can you survive again? The answer is a no. Maybe looked around a bit too long there. Cyanide being forced to flash away through the tower. Through the wall, I should say. And that was a really strange kind of engage. Interestingly enough, Malphite started it off, and he's one of the last players alive.
Nunu bot with the Fists of Fury.
And we see a kill. Ice Blast goes in, it indeed will be, but it's not going to be Irelia against Cyanide. Equilibrium Strike goes down, does get the stun. Here comes the Absolute Zero though. I don't think Pain's going to care too much about this. Not going to finish him off. Also has a Guardian's Angel on top of this. It's like the longest level 18 fight ever. And actually, Cyanide's going to get the upper hand, pop the Guardian's Angel and be like, okay, job done, see you later, I'm off. But Shirelia's Reverie has been used from Blitzcrank. Not going to be successful. So actually, Cyanide, take a bow. That was pretty sick stuff. It may have took about 10 years, but it was worth it in the end.
He could have just like spammed the laughter. That would have been amazing. That would have been great. But yeah, he picked up 2 kills essentially, and obviously popped the Guardian Angels, which is great. But yes, that was possibly the slowest fight we've ever seen. Both on 10% HP, just waiting on each other. That's what happens when you get 2 tanks hitting it off. Well, not in that way. Anyway,
moving on.
Yeah, everyone pretty much at full build at the moment, apart from the supports. It's coming down to the last team fight sort of phase, but once again, Iplay have to pick up 2, maybe 3 team fights to actually even this one up and push some turrets. So Fnatic only really need 1 team fight to push to the victory. It's not looking good for Iplay, but even so, they're doing a great job of stopping them from completely sieging them down. The turrets are still up at those inhibitors, so they have good counter pushing, obviously with Anivia. But as you said, that was a very odd engage from Shaft, who completely split himself from the team. And it's often that happens because the ult is so long range. It's like, oh, I can engage on them, but you're nowhere near me.
Yeah, the thing is, if you'd have just cut away or it had faded to black after that engage from Alpha, I'd have been like, okay, Fnatic have just aced them. But what actually ended up happening, it was a 4-for-4 exchange, I believe. So, actually, in that sense, it wasn't too bad, because you have to take into account that 4 of Fnatic had Baron buff, and they all lost it in that fight. So it didn't look like the greatest of engages, but somehow it worked. So I guess you have to give them a thumbs up that way. Either way, you are going to have a lot of back and forth action between the two teams. Again, it's just a case of Fnatic sieging on, but we've said this before, Anivia is such a good character with the Glacial Storm at stopping the creep waves and basically keeping a tower alive. There you go, you can just see there. Instantly Glacial Shroud comes down. They're going to try and push in regardless though. They have a lot of tanky champions, Soaz and Cyanide, soaking up so much. You also have Soaz with the Guardian's Angel and of course his ultimate. You're going to have York going on towards Blitzcrank. Lots of action has ensued. Ezreal back on towards Malphite. Look at Corki trying his best to pick up the kill into Peke. Flash Frost comes in, but look at that Spirit Rush through the wall. Can he pick up the second kill? No, he can't. This time Johnny making amends from previously where Peke got the 1v3 clutch, but I don't think it's going to make too much difference. Johnny's gone down into his egg, and that once again, not for the first time in this game, has been a 5-for-1 exchange with just Peke dropping, and the GGs are coming out. So Fnatic will be taking this game. And it just came down to that raw aggression. At this point, though, you have to say that, you know, Cyanide's very tanky, Stars is very tanky, and they just stood right in the middle of the enemy team. And just see, Iplay couldn't do anything. Literally nothing.
Yep, and there we go. GG, well played, and that's always nice to see from teams. And honestly, I don't think there's enough of it in the sort of high elo play. So good to see.
Sportsmanship is always welcome, that's for sure. I am fully in agreement with you. So, that's going to be round 2 done and dusted. Fnatic will be progressing through. Iplay put up a valiant attempt, but unfortunately just came up a tiny bit short. So we're going to have round 3 very shortly for you guys at home. Is there anything that you'd like to add to that end of in-depth analysis in the matchup?
Not so much. Purely just that Peke triple kill turned the game. And that was really where they picked it up. And I think that's pretty much it. It was just that clutch play really put them ahead. If that hadn't happened, they might have found a different way, but that certainly helped a lot.
I fully agree. I think up until that point the game was very close, but after that maybe they got a bit demoralised as well. Because Peke was, I think you said 8 for 2? Is that right?
Yeah, 8 for 2 at the time.
So 8 for 2 had like an Abyssal Scepter and was looking extremely strong. I think may have already finished off the Zoni's Hourglass as well. So very strong play from Peke. While we do wait for round number 3 to go live, guys, feel free to head on over to Facebook and give 4PL some love. It's facebook.com/4pl.lol. And you can also follow the lovely Pulse, who is casting alongside me today and has been for the last week or two. That's facebook.com/whatsyourpulse. And finally, if you'd like to follow myself, it's /MetisTV. I think that's all for now, so we're going to just wait for round 3, which should be up very shortly, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.